Hello everyone! So around 10 months ago, I got a Surface Go mainly for note-taking in college, and I wanted to share what I think about it after 2 semesters. I know there are a lot of videos about the Go, but this one's gonna be different for a couple of reasons. First of all, I went for the base model with 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. However, I got a 64 gig micro SD card for around $15 Canadian. Secondly, I don't have the type cover. I'm not really using it as a computer, but more as a tablet, so I don't need the cover. But I have a Logitech Bluetooth keyboard that I use with multiple devices. And lastly, I don't use my device in S mode. Most reviews I watched mentioned this as a big point and circle around the fact that you can't download apps like Chrome. However, the truth is, getting out of the S mode takes less than a minute, doesn't require a restart, and most importantly, is free. So why did I buy this thing? To be perfectly honest, to use it as an iPad with added benefits of Windows. Let's start with the build quality. The build quality in general isn't horrible. There is little to no flex on the chassis, and overall, it feels good in the hand. The hinge on the back feels super sturdy and not like something that'll break easily. However, the plastic used in the back is prone to scratches. I've been using it for around 10 months and it's full of scratches. The magnets for holding the pen work perfectly fine. However, the charging port is also magnetic, and I often try sticking the pen on the wrong side, causing the pen to stay there for a couple of seconds and then fall. However, the worst part in terms of the build quality is the screen flex. Every time I want to write something with the pen, I can feel the screen going just a couple of millimeters inside, and it gets annoying after a while. The Surface Pen is amazing. It's so nice to write and draw with it. It just feels like you're writing on an actual piece of paper, whereas with the Apple Pen, there is little to no feedback.
On the other hand, I think the Surface Pen has more lag compared to the Apple Pencil and overall less precise.
The speakers are pretty average, they aren't super loud, but they sound okay. I'm a fan of the magnetic charging port. However, it's not nearly as good as the MagSafe, and I already carry a USB-C charger for my MacBook Pro, so I rarely use that port. It's funny how the USB-C charger charges the Go faster than the magnetic one. Its rear camera takes nice photos under good light, but not much in dark. The webcam, in my opinion, is the best I've ever seen in a computer. It's honestly better than my MacBook Pro's webcam, which would make it an amazing Skype machine if the super annoying microphone background noise weren't there. I tried everything to fix it, but it simply didn't go away, which means I can't use it as a Skype machine. It has a 10-inch screen with a resolution of 1920 by 1200. The bezels are quite thick, although I don't mind this, especially when writing or drawing with the pen. The screen is pretty bright and supports auto-rotate. However, this rather good screen is limited by the software. Speaking of software, Windows is better than ever for touch and pen input. Tablet mode is overall very nice to use with large icons, but I don't think Windows is ready to be used without a keyboard or a pen. I don't understand why no one's talking about this. Let's try using OneNote, a software developed by Microsoft on a tablet made by Microsoft. Sometimes nothing happens when you want to change the pen color, and sometimes it just doesn't let you erase anything. It's honestly ridiculous. Every now and then, the palm rejection algorithm decides not to work, and the keyboard keeps popping up when I write or draw something using the pen. And Microsoft, after all those years, still hasn't figured out how to scale an app when the keyboard pops up so that I can see what I'm typing. Also, the auto-rotate option keeps disappearing, especially if you're not on tablet mode. I have a pair of XM2s and they connect virtual to anything via Bluetooth with no problems, including my old desktop with a $4 Bluetooth dongle. However, my Surface Go refuses to recognize it as a pair of headphones but a wireless communication device, which means the sound quality is horrible. Why? I honestly haven't tried any other Windows tablets in a very long time, so maybe they don't have those problems. Which is honestly possible, because the Go doesn't have super high specs. I have the base model with 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of eMMC storage. Oh, and also, the 1.6 GHz Pentium Gold processor with no turbo boost. Here's the thing, the Surface Go ships with Windows 10 Home in S mode. 1. Microsoft's been advertising their store for a while, but if you ever checked it out, you'd realize that there aren't a lot of apps there. Sure, there are apps like Facebook and LinkedIn, but for example, YouTube isn't there. And 2, the apps on the Microsoft Store aren't well optimized, so they work really slow on the tablet. You wouldn't believe how many times the Messenger app crashed when I was trying to send someone a message, or how many times Netflix started stuttering out of the blue. It's free to get out of the S mode, and it was one of the first things I did when I first got my Go. And how did it work out for me? The answer is okay, but with a twist. Chrome works pretty bad on my Go, probably because of the processor and definitely because of the RAM. Edge, on the other side, weirdly works fine. It's overall smoother to use and more battery friendly. However, it sucks for me to use Edge as I have all my passwords saved on Chrome or Safari. Other apps outside the store work fine, however, most of them aren't optimized for touch input. Here's an example. If you want to watch a YouTube video on the go, you can either download a third-party app from the store or use a browser to watch. But wait, YouTube Player isn't optimized for touchscreens, and it's very hard to pause a video or change the playback quality. So, conclusion. The Microsoft Surface lineup makes sense, with the Surface Pro, Surface Laptop, and Surface Book being meant to be used with a keyboard and a trackpad. They're mainly laptops with added tablet capabilities. However, the Surface Go is different. It's competing with the regular iPad, which can be used with the Apple Pencil. It's meant to be used mainly as a tablet. However, as a tablet, it can't really compete with the iPad. On the other hand, it's better than an iPad as an actual computer, but it doesn't mean that it's a nice computer. When I first got my Go, I decided not to bring my MacBook to class. I would use it with a keyboard and a mouse, and even though it was kinda slow, it was very usable. However, I realized after a week that I need to bring my computer for the extra power I need for my labs and projects. So, do I like my Surface Go? Absolutely. Would I buy it again? Probably. But I would definitely consider getting an iPad as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope I'll see you next time.